One is the schedule for this weekend, and second is the link to the VV Collectors Chat Clubhouse tomorrow. So check those out. And with that, we're at 3, so let's get started.
Perfect. We might, if you don't mind taking it from the top, Alex, maybe we'll kick off with the upcoming drops on VV. We'll probably cover it a few times during this chat, but seeing as you have the list, do you want to just run through them so people know?
Yeah, absolutely. So starting tomorrow, 1 October at 8 a.m. Pacific, we have the 2 versions of the James Bond glider. Very excited for that. And then at 12 p.m., we have the 2 No Time to Die posters from set 1. On Saturday, 8 a.m. Pacific, we have Kozik Labbit Series 2. And then on Sunday, 3 October at 8 a.m., we have Safin's Mask from No Time to Die. And then later that day at 12 p.m. PT, we have No Time to Die posters series 2, or set 2, rather. And realizing we have not put any further information on that yet, but just wanted to give you a little heads up that there will be that 5th drop of the weekend on Sunday afternoon. So we'll get pictures of that later today or probably tomorrow morning for posters set 2, and then we'll roll into next week, which will be busy as well.
Yes, it does appear the next month will be much the same. Now, just for anyone who is new here who may not know where to find our resources, if you're looking for anything Ecomi related, the OMI token, all that side of things, the Ecomi blog is the place to go. So it's just medium.com/Ecomi. And the VV blog is medium.com/VV VV-collectibles. So that's the place to go for all our new license partners, all of our drop announcements, all of those kind of details roll out on the blog. And I think we're releasing drop info 48 hours before each drop now, Alex. Is that the general time?
Yeah, typically, I mean, I'd hate to commit to that, but it really depends on when the license or approvals and things like that come in. But yeah, I'm trying to do it at least 48 hours ahead of time.
Perfect. Okay, great. And just to set the room as well, the last AMA we started with a new structure. So pretty well from here, we will cover the biggest items of the last 2 weeks or so that people have contacted us about, and then we'll open the stage. So we will take a combination of live questions, and a number have been submitted already on the VV tweet too. So we'll just alternate between those, hopefully get to as many people as we can. So please request to come up. And as Alex said, once you've had your question or 2, if you don't mind leaving the stage at the same time. So without further ado, big welcome to everybody up here. Dan, Alex, David, if he does pop in. We may as well start with one of the biggest items of the week, or for whatever reason this became a big item. Dan, do you want to make a comment on the DC license with Palm?
Some FUD busting.
Yeah. Conspiracy theory.
Was there something up with DC? I must have missed that.
I guess.
Well, all I'll say is that anyone who has been in VV for a while will know that we have been dropping DC content for literally almost 1 year now, and so I really just put it down to the fact that maybe whoever was in the marketing department over at DC wasn't aware of what was happening at VV, but rest assured, we have a multi-year contract with DC that is not going anywhere.
Okay, hopefully that settles the nerves a little. Is there, just for my knowledge or everyone else's, is there a difference between DC Direct, DC Comics, DC that Warner Brother owns? I mean, are they all under the one umbrella now, or do they all operate individually?
I actually don't know, to be honest.
Okay. Cool. All right, fair enough. That's what we had there. The next thing, people have obviously seen that Dapper Labs are coming out with some NFL collectibles, doing moments there. I don't think anyone is really surprised by that. They've gone after the UFC, and it seems to be their ticket. Any particular comments on that?
Only that, I mean, obviously, Data do an awesome product with their NBA Top Shot, and as you say, Reece, it's just inevitable that they will, more than likely approach other sports. That really is their sort of core operation, and I'm sure they're going to do something really good with the NFL as well. But I think just to reiterate about licensors, I mean, a licensor's job is to basically spread their IP and make money through many different avenues. So where you've got different options like, what we do at VV or what, Top Shot do. And I'm sure there's going to be other NFTs that, offer something else in the future as well. It should be expected that, these IP companies will more than likely start to diversify into different forms of NFT. And this is obviously just my personal opinion. This industry grows. It's really only been just on a massive hype bubble since kind of the beginning of the year. So, I think it's very promising, that we see a lot of these bigger companies, moving into the space. I think just, when the tide rises, everyone benefits. So overall, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, I'll second that and completely agree. We really are in the earliest stages of these digital products. So, over the next few years, I think we're just going to see a lot of versions and iterations, whether that is licensed or unlicensed content. So hopefully
and just to add to that, we haven't announced our sports category yet. So that obviously, as we've, communicated previously, we do one of the verticals that we will be releasing collectibles for is sports. And we do have a number of things in the works at the moment. So, just keep that in mind. That right now we're really focusing on the evergreen pop culture kind of collectible. Obviously, people have seen that we've announced other categories like vehicles with General Motors. Just stay tuned.
Yeah, perfect. I think most people have come to trust the way that we do things and release things these days. So hopefully that continues into the future. Now, David Yu, speaking of which, earlier, I think he made some comments on the possibility of comics degrading over time or if they were read or something like that. To my knowledge, that is not a feature we're going for, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, that was something we were discussing internally. It definitely hasn't been finalized. I mean, we're always looking at different options to improve or in this case degrade the product. But I mean, it's nothing that we have locked in. I think David was just more like talking about it as it was something that we had been looking at internally. Nothing. I mean, number one, don't freak out. It hasn't been announced on the blog or anything. So take a step back, maybe meditate for a bit, have a few breaks, and don't worry about it.
Yeah, sound advice. Just on that, David did mention in the video he did yesterday with NFT Oz, and I think you've alluded to this before, Dan, as another example. Maybe in the VV-verse, there's a digital black hole of sorts where people can potentially burn some of their collectibles to increase that scarcity. So really all we're looking at with these kind of ideas or features is other ways to add texture to that collectibles market. Is that pretty fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. The digital black hole is still just something conceptual at this stage. But when we have collectibles that do have high number of commons, we want to look at mechanisms that will allow the fans to do something with them. Whether that's a digital black hole or, maybe at some point in the future you could, I don't know, burn 4 commons for something else. We're always looking at these ideas sort of into the future.
Yeah, perfect. I think most people understand that anyway, and we'll continue to look for really ways to make it more fun, to create more options with your collectibles. So we'll stay on that. Now, there have been a few app updates in the last week. I think a back-end update went out, and obviously we did have a small outage yesterday. Do you want to just maybe bring up some of those updates and let people know where we are at?
Yeah, so apologies to everyone for the market outage yesterday. It was just a service in the back end which got maxed out, but it was all resolved in the end. And I guess to just say PSA If your collectibles don't sell immediately, don't stress out and lower the price by 50%, because if you do that, unfortunately you're the only one that's going to lose out. So, but yes, we do apologise for the outage on our side. We tried to get it resolved as fast as we can. Now, on the app update side, we do have a release going out. I believe it's later today or tomorrow, with quite a few updates in it, which I just want to cover off. So the number one is that in your collection screen, we have now merged your collectibles and your comics. So when you're on your collection screen, you won't need to use that switch bar at the top anymore, and comics that you own will just simply show as another row on your collection. So it's much easier, way to do it. Number two is the floor price for each collectible or comic can now be seen when you are viewing a collectible, either one that you own or one in the market. So you don't always have to go, into the market and find out what it is. In addition to that, on a collectible that you own, we've also added in the button that says there are X available in the market. So you can go straight to the market for that collectible from the view. We've also added back in the last price paid. So now when you're viewing a collectible that you own, you will be able to see, number one, how many are in the market. You'll be able to see the floor price, and you'll be able to see the price you paid for it. So hopefully that should, just make things a little bit easier for our fans.
Perfect.
The buy now button not showing, that was affecting a small number of users, has been resolved. What else have I got here? Oh yeah, in the store on the drop screen, some of the dates were a little bit off in terms of when the actual content dropped, so they have all been updated. A suggestion from one of our community members was when you are transferring a collectible from one user to another user, to show the from, who it's from. So, Reese, feel free to send me whatever valuable collectible you've got. It will say it's coming from whatever your username is.
Yes, feel free to do the same.
Yeah, okay, no worries. I can do that. Next up, we have when you're viewing your My Collectibles screen, there was an issue where the brand tags across the top were being limited. So that's now been fixed up, so you can see all the tags at the top there. Just makes it much easier to sort of filter your your collectibles. And also, as many of you are probably aware, notification refactor got rolled out yesterday. There was an issue with one of the notifications. So apologies to anyone who got bombarded, including myself, with notifications. I have actually asked the team just to disable that, and they're working on the fix, which I believe is going out today. And then that's out. Basically, all notifications will be back in the app. So if someone comments on a feed post, or anything to do with the market, notifications for drop, all of those notifications are coming back into the system. So that's going to be very, very helpful. So I'm looking forward to getting that one out.
Yep, super helpful.
Yeah, and then just so people know what we are working on now for the next release, is that we're making some updates to the way collectibles are listed in the market. So now when you click on let's say, for example, you go into market, you click on collectibles, you'll then see all the individual collectible cards with the number that are available for sale. And when you click on that, it will now no longer show each individual collectible card. We've actually consolidated it all into a much more tidy vertical list, given that there's just so much content in the market now. And then there's some additional filtering options in there. So there should be a much easier way for users to sort of browse through the collectibles and the comics that we have when there's a high number of them. So I think that's going to make things a bit easier.
Definitely.
Yep. We are also working on just a revision to the whole sort of market comic flow, which again is going to make it significantly easier now that we're starting to get a lot more comics in there. And to be honest, even I find the comic screen a bit annoying at the moment. So hopefully in the next sort of 1 to 2 weeks, we're going to roll that out. And it will basically group all of the comics, by the common cover. And then when you tap on one of the comics, it will then show you all of the rarities or the cover variants for that comic. And then when you click on one of those rarities, again, it will show you just a nice vertical list of the comics you want. So that's just going to make things a lot easier to sort of navigate through the comics section. And then the last one to bring up is in the same way that we've merged comics into the collection screen, we are also merging comics into the main store screen. And a part of that update also includes when a comic is dropping, it will also show in the coming soon section in the same way the collectible series show now. So again, just going to make it a lot easier for people to find the comics directly on the store landing page without having to use that damn annoying switcher bar, which everyone hates.
It was a great idea. It was a great idea. It
was necessary at the time, but I think most of our OGs know that we always evolve and improve, especially when we get great feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Community. So yeah, we've obviously got a lot of other stuff going on, but that's the main sort of updates for the next app release. But yeah, keep an eye out today. I think we're gonna post on. We're gonna tweet the app updates when the new app has been released to the app stores. So yeah, definitely grab that one because it's got a lot of good stuff in it.
I think, am I right that we're releasing some more detailed notes in the actual app store with each update now as well, so people can kind of find that information there?
Yes. Now that we're getting more, more updates out there, and obviously we've got a few more people in the company now. So rather than just saying bug fixes and updates, it needs to be a little bit more detailed, so you kind of know what new features have been rolled out.
Yeah, perfect. Now, one other update people are waiting on, we may as well update, is Showroom V2. I think last time we spoke, we were building away so that people could keep their existing showrooms and then generate the second one. Is that still in the works?
Yep, that is coming to its conclusion now. All of the back-end work has been done. Everything on the server side has been done. So that will be going into testing next week. I can't promise it'll be in the next app updates, although I want it to be in there. But it's getting very close to conclusion now.
Nice. And just to reiterate there, for anyone who is building a showroom, once that update rolls out, you will no longer be able to generate the current showroom, the OG showroom. So if you want to keep some of those, make sure you generate them before we update to version 2. I think that's all that really needs to be said on that note. Now, one question I do get a lot of, and this ties into our next bit anyway, are all of these updates and things, are any of them going to be affected by the Immutable migration, or are we kind of looking at two separate systems here?
Yeah, it's best to think of them as two separate systems. On one side, you've got the app, the actual app that you download, which is very separate from anything that happens on the blockchain. Obviously, there's a two-way street between the app and the blockchain, but for all intents and purposes, as we continue on with this migration, users won't be affected at all on the front end. In fact, the only time that our users will need to do something is when we come to phase 3, which is, if you're not aware of that, have a look at the article that Reese put out a couple of days ago. And at that point, then, you have the option to do your manual token swap, if that's the way you want to do it. And there are 2 automatic token swap options as well. So we'll be releasing some further information about that over the coming weeks.
Yeah, for sure. And I will just take this moment to reiterate, please only use the official links. You'll find them in our documents and on our website and things, but just be aware that this is crypto and scammers going to scam. So please use the official links. If anybody does want to take a look at that migration rollout plan, it is on the Ecomi blog, which just runs through the process. In the next few days, I'll look to release some more information about layer 1 and layer 2. That is really the only distinction you need to be aware of when it comes to your tokens. So some processes will switch your OMI tokens to layer 2, which means you can use them within the VV app. But if you want to trade them or use them on exchanges, you need them on layer 1. Now, we've built a bridge between layer 1 and layer 2, which you will be able to access through the VV web wallet, which I think is omi.vv.me, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah, but same deal. I'll release more instructions as we progress through this migration so that everybody is aware of what's going on and understands where to put their tokens if they choose to. And just on that note, if you don't have OMI tokens, you will not be affected by this migration. Everything is sort of back end outside of that. Okay, I do have. Is there any other immutable migration updates there, Dan, that we need to make people aware of?
No, just really to recap where we're at, which is what Reese covered off in his article that we're in. So basically all of the development has all been completed and the phase 1 of the migration is underway, which is transferring all of our existing user base. Phase 2, which will be next week, is basically, transferring all of the NFTs or reminting the NFTs on Immutable. And then after that will be phase 3, where we get to the final step, which is the token swap. So very pleased to be coming to the end of this migration. So yeah, it'd be nice to get this one behind us.
Absolutely, it's been
actually. And then one thing I did just want to touch on is that, and I did mention it briefly on the last AMA, which is that right now our focus is very much on the migration, which is quite a complicated process. After that, the next feature that we will be beginning on immediately is the interoperable features for those collectibles that will be interoperable. So in a couple of weeks, we'll more than likely release some information about what collectibles are going to be interoperable. And just to cover that off for any new users listening today, that some of our licensors are open to interoperability and others are a little bit cautious about it at the moment. Understandably, as this is a very new area, like I say, it's really only been sort of hyped since January. So there is some trepidation from some of the licensors. But, as I've mentioned previously, I do believe that as we progress down over the coming months, we will start to see more interoperability with these other brands.
Yeah, it just seems to be where the momentum goes. Once a few people dive in and try it out, or a few licensors, and then everybody else gets their feet wet. So I think that will come. Now, I think you've been hard at work this week, Dan, on the Master Collector program and the OMI utility article that people have been waiting for. Have we got some updates on that?
Yes, I have been working very hard on those documents. However, this has unfortunately been a week of firefighting, including yesterday, which was extremely stressful, trying to get everything back online. And then obviously we've got a ridiculous amount of drops. So I am running a little bit behind on that. So I don't think I'm going to get it out this week, but my aim is to have that out next week. I really just need to do some reviews internally with some of the teams just to make sure that I haven't promised anything that is going to be too difficult to create. But yeah, I do apologize. I know I said it would be out this week, but sometimes that thing called reality just gets in the way.
That's what we get for putting dates to things. But
we forgive you.
Yeah, that's it. It's around the corner anyway, so I think people will be fine with that. Kozik's Secret Rare. So I think people know that Frank Kozik is dropping Labbit Series 2 on Saturday. Again, just for anyone who wasn't here originally, there is a Clubhouse chat taking place at 5 p.m. tomorrow Pacific time in the VV Collectors Clubhouse chat. So we've shared some links if you want to tune in and join for that conversation. They are usually a blast. But people are obviously curious about this Secret Rare that is being released. Am I right that is the one going to people who were affected by the gem issue?
That is correct. In the same way that we gave out the secret rare to earlier in the year to users who were affected by a bug with the Ultraman 2D. So they will be listed on the store, but none of them will be available because the minted allocation will be going to the affected users.
Okay, perfect. I think people are excited for that one, to be fair. And obviously, aside from all of the drops and developments we have going, there's a few events coming up. So we have some stuff coming out for New York City Comic Con. Is that right?
Yes. Well, I mean, it's not directly related to New Comic Con, but it obviously is the week of New York Comic Con. So we will be releasing next week some con exclusive collectibles from our licensed partners. So yeah, keep an eye out for those.
Okay, stay tuned for those indeed. For anyone who wasn't around when San Diego Comic Con was on, we did some special releases just to co-celebrate that event. And these ones will be released with a con exclusive tag as well, Dan. Is that the expectation?
They certainly will.
Okay, fantastic. Just so people know. Perfect. I think the last thing I have on my list, Rome wasn't built in a day. I don't know if that's for me to point out to people.
No, that's for me to point out to people.
Okay.
And really the reason I put that in there is, obviously I love to stay close to the community and see what the general sentiment out there is. And I saw there were quite a few people who were disappointed that the metaverse was around 6 months or so away. And I just wanted to bring up that, creating a metaverse is not an easy task. You don't just download some software, press a button, and then boom, it's done. It's something equally as complex to the VB app. And, for us, I think a lot of the OGs know that, we have to release things, get feedback from the community, what they like, what they don't like, implement those changes, roll out another feature. It very much is a two-way street, and the product evolves. We could come out with 10 new features tomorrow, but, really the best way to build out a product like VB is to iterate and get feedback and then iterate again. That way, we're really getting a good sense of what the community wants and, what features they like or don't like. And then we can act on that fairly quickly, as I think, most of our fans have probably realized. So, yeah, for everyone out there who thinks that the metaverse can be created in a week, I'm really sorry to disappoint you, but it is a massive project, and it is going to be, 6 months to get out just the very, very first iteration of that. And that's no absolute promise. So don't message me in 6 months' time saying, Dan, you're a liar. We're always doing the best that we can. So I just wanted to bring that up to say that, these projects are very large and very intensive. So yeah, just a bit of understanding on that front.
Oh, absolutely. And we really are working at the bleeding edge of these technologies. So I think for the most part, people do understand that and are very appreciative of the speed that we roll things out. So good to make that note. Now, that's all I had on my list. So, Alex, if you want to throw to some of these pre-submitted questions, and I might start to bring some people up onto the stage.
Yeah, no problem. Let's go ahead and just do a quick reset, though. We covered a lot there at the top. So thank you, Dan, for joining and regaling us with all of these lovely, wonderful updates. So everybody in the crowd, let me see. Give you your hundreds for Dan. Throw up your hundreds. We are now over 1,000 people in the space. So give me all them hundreds, all the hundreds you can find. We're going to bring some people up on stage. We're going to try to get some new voices up here as per usual. I know we tend to kind of cycle through, or at least maybe the same people request every time, but we are going to try to get some new people up. Try to limit your question, or try to limit yourself to one question rather. And I will go ahead and start here on the Twitter submitted questions. I think maybe 70 or 80% of which were knocked out by Dan's DC update. But let's go ahead. One of the more frequent questions coming out of the last few drops is one that Lainey asks in regards to latency to AWS servers. There's a theory that that those outside of US and Europe basically have no chance when we ping at over 230 milliseconds. I live in Australia, and I know with the amount of people now in Vivi, it's just hard in general, but definitely harder in Australia, Asia, etc. Do we have any thoughts on that?
Hi, yeah. NFT King here.
Hang on,
I'm a big
brother.
collector.
Hey,
Hi,
bro.
guys.
Damn,
Hey,
man.
buddy. Yeah, I'm a big collector here. I just wanted to know. I've
Give me
got
just a
the.
second, NFT King.
No, brother.
That was a question for Dan. So hold on just a second, and we'll get right to you. Thank you.
Yes, I know there is I'm not going to say it's a theory. I'm going to call it a conspiracy that, anyone outside the US is disadvantaged. But I can tell you that I have a lot of friends here in New Zealand who are avid BB collectors. They have the oldest phones. They live in an area that in New Zealand, what we call the wop-wops, which is basically a whole lot of trees with slow internet. And I don't know what it is with these guys, but they always get lucky. So if people down here in New Zealand on a regular basis can get success, it just shows that there is, there's not a latency issue. The other point is that our traffic has grown significantly over the past 30 days. So ultimately, it comes down to supply versus demand. And I know that when people miss out, there's all I see is bot, latency, BB scamming, whatever. But it's actually not the case. We have a lot of bot protection in place, and the collectibles that do get sold are dispersed globally. Obviously, there is more in America because we have a much bigger audience in America. But I can assure you that the collectibles are picked up on a global level.
Thank you. So yeah, I know it's frustrating, guys. If you feel like you're looking up charts and things of ping times, and it seems like you're not getting drops because of it's, a lot of people also are not getting drops these days because whereas we used to be able to buy multiple comics on a drop, we're lucky if we get one these days. It's just the amount of people that have come onto the app, which is a good problem to have ultimately.
Wait, you guys get one? What?
I did today.
Damn, I'm out.
I love you say we used to be able to get multiple comics. That was like 3 weeks ago. So I could get more than one.
In the distant past.
Feels like an eternity.
It does.
All right, guys. Can I have my question now?
Well, sure. Why not?
Thank you. All right. So I've got over 300 NFTs. Huge collector. So I'd like to thank you guys first of all. Great job you lot are doing, and I like the updates as well. I'm really impressed compared to a lot of other cryptos and NFTs. So thanks for that, first of all. Secondly, another thing, I've got a DeLorean, ultra rare. I used to be able to drive it on the first day, and then it stopped all of a sudden. What's happening there?
Yeah, the drivability may be coming back in the future. So you'll just have to keep your eyes open for that one.
Maybe. Yeah. Why maybe? Because I bought it for that reason. Can you tell me the exact reason you took it off?
No.
Why not?
Welcome to the party.
No, why did you guys take it off? Really? Why did you take it off?
It was never meant to be drivable in the first place. So, I've covered this a few times in AMAs. So, as I mentioned, we more than likely will be bringing out interactive collectibles. So, when that happens, keep an eye out and get ready.
Sure. And have you got a timescale as to when you think you'll be converting gems to OMI tokens again? When we'll be able to do that on the OMI network?
You mean the gem to fiat?
Yeah, fiat or gem to OMI. Is it going to be gem to fiat, actual fiat, or is it going to be gem to OMI and then we do OMI to USDT? What's the process?
It's gem to fiat is the first thing we're rolling out. So just to give everyone a quick update on that. We have passed all of the regulatory conditions, which is great. That was a mammoth mission to get through that. And now we are about 40% the way through just integration with our banking partner. So I anticipate, maybe a couple of weeks, depending on how it goes, but we are down to the final step on that one now. So I know everyone's...
Is that worldwide? Is that worldwide or in specific countries that you're getting close with
worldwide.
Banking partners?
It's worldwide.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So once that banking partner is confirmed, they will be processing it into our local bank accounts.
Correct.
Oh, fantastic. Good news. Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you,
day.
King.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
All right, Ember, perfect. I don't
All
even
right,
have to bring people up.
Just for sake of
Sorry, I'm sorry.
to keep it orderly, we'll call on you when it's your turn. So no need to jump in. We'll get to everybody. We'll only have a few people on stage at a time, and you'll know we'll definitely get to you. So if you're on stage, know that we will get to you eventually. Thank you.
Perfect. On that note, maybe we will bring you up, Marcus Brown, if you have a question, and then we'll throw back to some pre-submitted.
How you doing, guys? I apologize for jumping in. I apologize.
All good, all good. Welcome to the stage.
I've been in OMI since February. Been loving the progress, everything about it. But I just have one question. I was trying to update my profile today, and basically I would update it and then add something, and then it'll say save, and then it'll say you'll get a one-time generated code to your email address. But I haven't been receiving the emails. So that's just the only issue that I have. But besides that, I'm here for the long run. 10, 20 years from now, hopefully my grandkids can see these NFTs and be impressed with what I've been doing.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for the support. Just on that, it could be one of a couple of things. The obvious, it could be going to your spam folder. The second one, if you maybe accidentally unsubscribed from our emails at some point, that could prevent it. And otherwise, just open a ticket at help.vv.me and the support team will help you sort that out. And on that note, for anybody who needs support, that is the place to find our knowledge base and contact our support team. So help.vv.me if you run into any app issues on the way.
Yep, and I think just on that note, we will be removing the 2FA from the profile, just because it's, you're just updating your profile. There's no transfer of assets or any kind of security around that. So we will be removing that because it is a bit of a pain at the moment. And on the note of the help.vv.me, Noah behind the scenes has been working on a very comprehensive VV 101, which we will start to load up fairly soon for anyone who doesn't know how to use a particular feature or wants a little bit more information on it. And of course, for new users coming in now that VV has become a fairly complex app.
Yes, I think people have been requesting some, intro video walkthroughs and things. So I think we'll try and cover that off at the same time. Does that answer your question, Marcus? That's all you needed up here?
Yeah, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And maybe it was one more thing. The one more thing was me trying to transfer an NFT to my uncle and that same issue happening. So that was it. Apologize for taking too much time. Everybody enjoy it.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, help.vv.me is the place to go. And we may as well throw to Kay while he's up here, and then we'll go back to some pre-submitted questions. Kay, how are you?
Speaking of new voices.
Speaking of new voices. This is how I find out all the conspiracies in the communities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about a conspiracy theory, but Dan covered it straight away. It was the DC one. That was coming. But yeah, just on the point of what Dan covered earlier with regards to the people, complaining about the servers, not with the latency issues. Just to end that FUD, I think it might be worth asking either Michael Duffy or whoever's the relevant person if you guys are using AWS regions, because typically you would have your VV application running on different geographic locations on top of AWS. So if you can just confirm that pretty much ends that FUD, because it'll be in their closest geographic location. Yeah, just on that DC point, actually, there was a screenshot I was going to send to Reese. Basically, it's to do with the article where they said these are DC's first ever NFT collectibles. And someone, it was so funny. They said, why this article says that these are DC's first ever NFT collectibles and not the ones on VV? It's because VVs aren't real NFTs. And I was like, I have to send this to Reese. Every week. That cracked me up.
That's 2 more weeks, and we can put that behind us too.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. So my question is specifically to do with the upcoming James Bond drop. Well, not specifically that drop, but MGM Studios. I can see that they're taking a licensor fee as well, similar to Marvel. And I believe it was stated before that in terms of this licensor fee, in terms of the underlying OMI, 100% of that is burned. So I just wanted to kind of, I guess, confirm from you guys. I assume it will be like the same case with MGM and their 6% fee and any other licensor who takes an additional fee. 100% of that OMI will be kind of burned in terms of the fee amount. And if so, I guess we can expect the OMI burn to be higher than what we initially anticipated if that continues.
That is correct. So whatever the fee is, the secondary market fee gets the equal amount of OMI gets burned.
So yes, we may indeed see these burn rates increase. I think it's the assumption there. Does that cover everything, Kay?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that because there was all these people trying to model the OMI burn rate, and I was saying we don't know who's going to have additional fees and whatnot, and what else could cause OMI burn. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that because I've been seeing some pretty ridiculous OMI burn on non-drop days. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Agreed. And I think we'll see some updated models once this token utility article comes out as well. But if we cover bases there, Alex, if you want to throw to some more pre-submitted questions, and I'll bring a few more people onto the stage. Thank you, Kay.
Sure thing. All right. John asks, will the 007 drops make up 4 separate complete sets, 2 separate complete sets of collectibles and posters, or 1 complete set of all 007 items?
Great question. Within the app, if the drop has a separate banner and you click on it and it only shows those collectibles, then they are considered as a set. So for the 3 James Bond drops that we have coming up, which is the assets from the movie coming out tomorrow, as well as the first poster set, and then the second poster set coming out on Sunday, they will all be 3 different sets.
Okay, so just to confirm, the 2 posters are going to be individual sets?
No, so there's 2
Serious?
poster sets dropping. There's 1 poster set dropping tomorrow, and there's another poster set dropping on Sunday. They are considered as 2 separate sets. So the posters are coming out in series of 2. In drops of 2 posters each.
Cool. All right, one more from my end. Not sure. Most of these have been answered already. All right, how about this? Foster asks, with the continued increase in the VV user base, should we expect to see an increase in the amount of editions dropped on collectibles or physical collections coming in season 3?
I'm not sure what the reference to the physical collectibles are, but
yeah, maybe comics or.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the physical one, but on our digital collectible side, I mean, there'll be some drops that we do that will be of a higher edition, and then some that will be lower. Really, just we want to make sure that we maintain or keep some texture in the drops that we do, but also we need to make sure that they still remain collectibles, as in limited edition items. So it's unlikely that we will scale the drops as our audience grows dramatically. We might see some small increase, but like I say, if we scale the editions too high, they start to lose their collectability.
Perfect.
All right, let's take it back to the stage.
All right, I've got a couple of people up here. Melissa, if you are ready with a question, feel free to fire away, and then we might throw to Chris.
Hi, Guy. Here's
Hi.
Melissa and Joe from Brazil.
Hello.
We entered VV by Randy Chavez. Hi, man. You guys are doing an amazing job. We're 100% with OMI tokens and collectibles. And the question that we have is about the question that we have, it's about the people that are still using bots to buy the collectibles, and why we are not using the CAPTCHA in all the drops, because I think this will be a little more fair to everyone.
Okay, so just to cover that off again, we have massive bot protection on our side, and while a very small percent, like maybe 0.5% to possibly 1%, might slip through, we have a lot of protection on our side, and where possible, as soon as a bot is detected, the account is disabled. So, I mean, I see this all the time, like VV's bot, but I can tell you it is not. Now, when it comes to the capture, the capture is actually dynamic in the sense that if you are detected as a threat or if there's anything untoward about your activity, then you will see the capture. Over time, for each user's profile, the capture builds up a like bit of a knowledge base about you and how you act. And if it feels that you are not a threat, you will not see the capture because, hey, we all hate clicking the bus or plane or whatever it is. So don't think that, some people are getting it and other people aren't because of some selection. It actually comes down to how the system detects your activity.
Okay, I understood. And again, congratulations for your job. Amazing what you are doing. We're making history together, guys.
Absolutely, we are. Thank you so much for your
Congratulations.
Thank you. We appreciate it. All right, Chris, if you are up here, feel free, and I will bring a couple more up.
Hey guys, how's it going? A long-time supporter since early March. I appreciate you guys so much for doing these AMAs. I'm involved with other projects as well, and nobody is as interactive as you guys are with your community and updating. So I'll just start off with seriously, thank you.
Yes.
I feel like my question is kind of lame for this to be my first question, but I was talking about it in a Twitter space the other day, and they told me to ask it, so I'm just going to ask it. I saw somebody screenshot a Telegram post, I think it was actually from you, Reese, and it talked about potentially being able to bypass the reserve wallet to burn directly out of the circulating supply. And I know this kind of, I think, isn't for sure either, but there was original talk like a while back about possibly cutting the reserve wallet. I was wondering if either one of those, I guess just an update on either of those. And again, I know we don't really deserve these updates. I feel like it's a lame question, but shooting my shot.
Not at all. There's no such thing as a lame question. Maybe a little misinterpretation, though. I wasn't referring to bypassing one of the wallets. It's more that with some of the token utilities coming out, which people will learn more about whenever that article goes out, there will be opportunities to burn tokens from the circulating supply. So it's really just adding a new mechanic to the tokenomic system that will start to deflate from circulating, depending on how people choose to use their tokens, while also deflating the reserve wallet based on the sale of NFTs. So maybe a little misinterpretation there. And we have confirmed in the past that all tokens will be coming with us and making the migration. I don't think anything has changed there. Dan, nothing there?
Yeah, that's correct. Everything will remain as is.
Yeah, it's just a bit easier. I think people... Originally, when that came up, I think people were kind of panicking that there were too many tokens. But now that the system is really running and everyone sees these almost daily drops and consistent burns, I think that picture is starting to become a bit clearer as to how quickly that reserve will deplete regardless. So hopefully that answers your questions. Was there anything else?
Clears it up. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. Okay, who else have we got? Mr. Poorman, it has been a while, sir. How are you? He may not be
on mute,
ready to go yet. Let's go to the OG. There we go. Poorman. No, you're right. Let's go.
Dude, I didn't even mean to mash the button, but like I'm in here working on my car. I'm like, well, why did my Bluetooth cut off? But
how are you, sir?
So I just want to congratulate everybody, especially y'all, the VV team, because I mean, it's crazy what y'all doing right now. So I just want to congratulate y'all. I really don't have no questions.
Thank you. Always love it. Support as well.
All right, y'all keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna keep working on this car though.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
OG Akomi Meme Lord, you are up.
Hello. How's everybody doing? Thanks for having me up here.
It's always good to join these AMAs and hear all the good questions the community has to ask. Well, I was going to ask when Pokemon, but I'll save that for the next one. So I heard we were talking about, how many users we have. And I seen, a couple weeks ago, I think we seen that it was just surpassed over 700,000. And I've noticed it's gotten much harder even since then. So do we have an update on how many users we have on the platform as of now?
I won't disclose exactly how many users we have, but we are growing quite significantly on a daily basis. And that also ties into why it is getting harder to, maybe get some comments or participate in these drops. So, thanks to everyone in our community who is sort of spreading the word about Vivi and posting great videos and great content. It's definitely helping to bring a lot more users onto the platform.
Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. And, always stay fuzzy.
Thank you, sir. It's such a double-edged sword, isn't it? You want more people on the platform, but then it makes it harder to get collectibles. So it's a funny thing to watch. Okay, we might throw to Waffles. If you are up here and ready to go.
Hello. Yeah, hi. Calling in from Dubai. Just want to say you guys are doing a great job. I just had a simple question. Regarding the comics, like before the drop today, like I saw that some of the drops, like example, like the secret rare or rare, had like some editions that were already sold before the drop. Is that normal, or is that like allocated to the team, or is that like a glitch on my end? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Yes. So basically, with all of the collectibles, and that includes the 3D assets and the comics, there is a portion of each rarity set aside. Now, just to totally quelch this, they don't all go to the team. We're not all sitting here on hundreds of collectibles ourselves. They are allocated for licensors, they're allocated for promotion, they're allocated for artists. So that's why the company holds some back. Also because we would have no chance in the drop to get, the amount that we need to allocate to the licensors as per our contract. So, yeah, the team, we might get one or two at some point in the future, but that is the reason. Collectibles and comics, there are some held back in the company wallet.
Please let me know how I can apply for these one or two collectibles, then. That sounds great.
I confirm that I have paid for all of my collectibles.
When you know, let me know.
Yeah. Thank you, mate. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Waffle.
Bye-bye.
Really do. All right. Claire, welcome to the stage.
Hi, thank you. Just want to say I am super excited for all the drops in as far as I love the idea of having all these collectibles, but the reality of how much this is going to cost me is probably going to send me into a frenzy before Comic-Con. But yeah, it's just, I think it just feels like it's stepped up a level. That's the only way I can explain it. And it was always been exciting, but it's just another level of excitement. I've been asked to ask a question from somebody from the UK. They thought I'd be awake, even though they're not. And his name is Nathan, and his question's actually really good in as far as at Christmas, he says, family and friends ask him what he wants, and he never really knows. So they always end up getting him Amazon vouchers. So is there a sort of plan in the future that we could actually have like VV Gem vouchers that people can buy us to spend in the app?
I mean, that would be a great idea if you could, along the lines of, you go into your local convenience store and you can buy, iTunes credits or Fortnite credits. I mean, it would be cool to have, VV Gem gift cards. I think we just need our audience to be a little bit bigger before we sort of roll something like that out. But it is something that we have discussed internally for sure. And I think it just really comes down to the right timing.
Thank you. I'm sure Ray Fixie would be a good customer if you want to set it out. I think
he's like a hot dog stand.
But No, thank you.
Thanks, Claire, and thanks for the question. Whoever sent that in as well. Okay, what have we got? VV Addict, welcome.
Hey guys, how are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to touch base and quickly ask about the VVverse and land. I know we're a pretty good long ways out, but I'm well ready to wait. I know that Dan mentioned that we might be able to possibly rent land in the future. I just wanted to know if there's any establishment that you guys might plan on having, whether it be like a brokerage or an Airbnb platform where people can facilitate rental transactions. Like, let's say Kanye West wanted to throw a party at Ray Fixie's mansion next to the VVverse #1 museum, and Ray will charge him $500,000 OMI for the month, or whatever the case may be. But he doesn't want to do all the work. If I can facilitate that, or whatever.
Yep. I understand the question. Dan, VVB&B? Is that what we're going to say?
Yeah, well, I can't say that we're in a partnership with Airbnb at all. But yeah, the idea is to allow is to build out renting facilities. And, this is something for further down the line. And that would include things like your land. Exactly as you say, if you've got an epic, home in the VVverse and someone wants to rent it off you for a watch party or a concert, that is what we are aiming to do. And also along the lines of collectibles as well. Like, let's say you want to go out over the weekend and take photos with with a golden lucky, but you don't have one. We're aiming to build in a feature where that can be rented off another user.
Perfect. And just in case anybody needs a VV loan shark, I will be taking applications. Happy to assist there.
Lowest fees, right, Rick?
Yeah, that's it. I'll break your digital knees. Did that answer the question?
No, it was a great answer. Thank you guys. I do appreciate it. It's just been a mayhem in my mind since it was mentioned.
Yep. And look, just on the VVverse, obviously those details will be released much closer to the Metaverse version 1 going live. So hopefully we can all remain a little patient on those questions until we get closer to that release.
That said, I have probably a VVverse V3 question from Twitter. Any plans for integrating? Down asks. Any plans for integrating community-made assets in the VVverse? Think about Sims and those custom-made assets or mods that anyone can download and integrate into their own experience. I know this is freaking hard, but mods would be amazing. Fire emoji.
As part of the VVverse, I am definitely looking into creator content. Obviously, that is, going to expand out the offering of what people can do in the VVverse, whether it's, having something unique that you've managed to purchase off another user. Or it could be things like, in your avatar, maybe we allow the option to download the template, and then, I don't know, maybe we can have a couple of Reese memes on your picture. There is quite a bit of work involved in that, because obviously we need to have you'll have to sign up as a creator. Then there's going to need to be some sort of submission and approval process for any content that goes onto the platform. So I do think it's a good idea, and it is something that I have scoped out to some degree. Because like I say, if we can allow creators to come in and offer their own content, whether for free or paid, I think that's a really good addition to the VVverse version 1000.
Yeah, just a little way down the line. Just while we're touching on customization, have we got any accessories updates? For anyone who may not be aware, there are planned accessories for your digital showrooms, but anything there, Dan?
The accessories is next to go back into the pipeline. Obviously, we're all kind of hands on deck with the migration and a few other features that we are building out in in the back end. That'll be released a bit later this year. And then obviously we've got the web platform and a whole bunch of other things on the go. So I am super excited for accessories because, it's just really going to allow us to take showrooms to the next level. I don't have an exact date as to when that is going to be rolled out, but it is coming back up in the development schedule.
Perfect. Back on the table. That's what people will want to hear. Now, just to take a moment and reset the room, we have been going for an hour. We will go for another 30 minutes or so before we have a hard stop. If anybody was not here in the beginning, the first half an hour or so, we covered most of the big ticket items. So just keep an eye out for any recordings after this to catch up. And Alex and Noah will also post a recap on the Twitter thread as well. So keep an eye out for that in case you've missed anything. Outside of that, we do ask you to please keep your questions. We'll try to keep them to one, and I'll just send you back from the stage once we are done. But on that note, Alex, do you have any more pre-submitted questions to cover, or shall I start bringing more people?
I do not. Let's go back to the stage. I do want to note, though, because Dan and I have a hard stop for a meeting after this, just give me a few on that Twitter thread recap, that epic Twitter thread, because it does take me a little bit to kind of distill everything down into 240. So appreciate your patience, but we'll go ahead and get back to the stage.
Okay,
I can run it from here if you want, Reese, or you can
go for it.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, let's go with Austin.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Really well.
Awesome.
Good, man.
I love what you guys do. I'm a huge fan. So my question is regarding the scarcity of land. I know this is far down the future. I just want to know your thoughts on how you lay out the scarcity for digital land. How does that work? Thanks.
Yeah, best to wait for the article to come out on that one.
Okay, no problem. My next question, I know that I'm going to be really quick. I know that we're connecting our digital collectibles with movies. For example, the James Bond, No Time to Die. Do we plan doing like having tickets, like movie tickets with our collectibles or something like that down the road possibly? Or
I mean, as licensees, we are open to a lot of different options. So I can't predict the future as to what's going to happen on that side, but I would hope that we start to see more utility on the from the NFT side into the real world, like that kind of thing. Whether it's access to a movie or access to people. I actually personally believe that is how NFTs are going to evolve moving into the next couple of years.
Awesome. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Austin. All right, let's move on to Robert Xavier.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Glad to be here. What's up, everybody in the room right now? Yo, Alex, you're a beast on Twitter. You keep me cracking up all day. So I just had a quick question. I know, you can't really say too much, but I basically wanted to just get an idea. I know VVverse is kind of out there 6 months. Is there like a gamification aspect that could come prior to that that would, work with the collectibles that we have now?
I'm going to say no, because even the VVverse itself is going to be more of a social experience to start off with. Obviously, adding gamification is a hot topic, and I think personally would add a lot of fun and a lot of utility to the collectibles. So I do want to see gamification of some form in the future. But in terms of gamifying the sort of collectibles that you have now individually, there is nothing planned up till the VVverse.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the way you answered that.
Thank you.
Right on. Thank you for joining. Let's move on to, we had somebody up here and then we lost him. Okay, well, let's move on to Espinoza.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey, so my question is, what are the plans for what are y'all's plans for like bringing Pokemon into the VVverse?
Next question.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a question that's already been asked. I apologize.
It's all right. I don't know if you're aware of the long-running joke that somebody asks this at least once every AMA, or
No, I'm
maybe.
not. I'm so sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's our favorite question, to be honest.
Yeah. Official response, Dan?
Official response on that one is that we never release information about licensors until they are dropped, and there is no confirmation of anything.
I'm so sorry. I feel like an idiot.
That's
My bad.
all good.
No, you're all good, mate. You're all good.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no problem. Let's go with Chandler next.
Hey, how's it going? Appreciate it. I had a quick question in regards to the serial killers. Actually, I remember seeing an article where you collect all the serial killers and you can make the last fat breakfast. Is that something that's going to be done through the app, or is it simply just something like lining them up in like the order of the last fat breakfast?
That is not an article that I'm aware of, so maybe it was more of a community.
That was me.
Article.
That was me.
That was you.
That was
Let
me.
me articulate so that we get a lot of questions about this, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So there is a prevailing theory that if you collect all three sets of serial killers, that it somehow unlocks a secret rare. I've been telling people that I don't think this is the case, but I would love for you to chime in if you feel otherwise.
Well, obviously, being a secret rare, we can't allude to that. No, that's when I put that in the article, it was more to highlight the work of Ron, because those characters do make up his painting, The Last Fat Breakfast. So obviously, if you own all of those, you can line them up and recreate it. I think in the future there was talk of those kind of customizable backgrounds, things like that. So maybe a frame becomes available from that painting as well. Dan, any ideas on that?
Yeah, I mean, it could be something that you might be able to set up yourself. Once we have accessories, you might be able to add a table in there and then line them up as per Ron painting. And then with the one of the new showrooms that we have coming up, which is the empty space. This won't be in phase 1, but in a later phase, we will want to add the option in there of adding, a specific background in there. So, I mean, ultimately, it's not going to be anything that we're going to release, but it is something that you could do as an owner of if you have the whole thing.
Awesome, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Well, it looks like we lost Akil. Let me add him back because he was next, and then if he can connect, we'll go with Akil, Black Excellence.
Yeah. I think I've just invited him up. So once that
Akil,
connects.
you there? Yes.
Yep.
Everyone. My question is can we, and I DM'd Alex to do it, but can we get some clarity and just clarification on the NFL situation? I know a lot of people are worried, not worried, but I keep thinking, well, it's not a big deal when it comes to licensing. This happens all the time. One corporation or company gets licensed by 30 different brands. I mean, it's not uncommon, but just so you guys can just say it publicly. Thank you.
Yeah, I did cover this off right at the beginning of the AMA, and you are exactly right. These IP companies, their job is to spread the word and to spread their IP out to as many different areas as they can. And like I mentioned, there are a number of different types of NFTs out there now. Obviously, you've got Dapper doing their moments, which are really cool, and then you've got us doing our kind of 3D statues. So we will be announcing more about our sports category coming up.
Thank you guys very much for just clarifying that for the world. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you for your hard work.
Thank you.
Shout out to Akil, always holding it down on Twitter Spaces as well. He's a man of the people.
Nice.
All right. Let's see. We got Dan the Man.
Hi guys, how are you?
Well,
really well.
Good, thanks.
Good. I just have a question. I've definitely been looking forward to the VVverse, and I know earlier this year we were told we would get the VVverse this year, and we're going to get it next year, and that's fine. But I was wondering, is it because we're going to get is it because we plan on getting more features on the VVverse, or is it maybe because the developmental timeline got pushed back? Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's the latter. Obviously, we had grand plans coming into this year of all of the features we wanted to build and roll out. And then all of a sudden we had hundreds of thousands of users. So we had to go back and do quite a bit of re-engineering on the platform, basically just to keep up with the demand. And then in addition to that, we had, we needed to release comics for Marvel. So the main reason for any sort of delay on features we might have mentioned earlier on is purely down to the growth and what we've had to do, within the team internally to accommodate that growth. So it is a little bit unfortunate that all of the features have been pushed out, but it's also great because the platform's really taken off, and I think bringing a lot of fun and enjoyment to people.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Dan.
All right. Thank you, Dan. Let's see. I think Traps was up next. Is that correct? Yeah, it looks like it.
I think so. Yep.
Yeah, I'd say so. Thanks, Alex, for passing that off. So the Vault Builders, Resident Vault Builders, had some quick questions. They said for Vault 2.0, do you want them to keep a running list of glitches because they notoriously find them the most? If you guys want to start doing that.
The great thing about the VV community is that we now have crowd bug finding, so it's always very, very valuable. So yeah, any feedback, I think everyone on the call knows that we are very open to it. So if you do find any issues, just continue to shout them out.
Just
I
on
believe
that
there is a Discord channel for issues as well. So yeah,
I'll tell them to go there then. I'll tell them to stop bugging me and bug the bugs over there.
Yeah.
They're all chomping at the bit for your guys' new collectibles. Every time you guys drop something, they want to know how they can use it. So clearly the glider with features, they've been kind of just trying to push to see what kind of features. I know it drops tomorrow, but any hints for the Vault Builders on what they can start planning?
I'm glad you brought that up, actually. I mean, there's no necessarily interactivity in the sense that you can't fly the glider around or anything like that. But the animated version of the glider, Trevor and the studios have done an amazing job on it. Unfortunately for this drop, we didn't have enough time to do a video to, showcase just literally how beautiful it is. But you obviously, if you get the animated one, you can do your usual thing like tap on it. It opens up the canopy, opens up the wings. And I just can't wait to see all of the photos from inside the cockpit. It's actually really cool when you drop it in AR. You can sit yourself in the cockpit, look at all this, even the screens update with different information as you sort of open and close the hatch. So yeah, I mean, that is a very beautiful model. So I guess to circle back to what you were asking, Traps, is you can place it in your showroom. And there's the interactivity that I just covered off.
Okay. Well, that leads me to my real question of the VVverse and potentially using these vehicles. I'm thinking like Superman 64 multiplayer, where you're not really too high off the ground. It's like very, very low levitating. So like if you get a static one of these gliders, would we be able to see it like a quarter machine kind of static thing where our avatar just sits in it and it doesn't really move? And then if you get the ultra rare, you can actually just kind of like glide around the ground and shoot people or something.
I'm not sure about shooting the fan, but ultimately, my goal is to have a higher degree of interactivity. I mean, I think everyone wants to be able to drive their DeLorean or drive around the Ecto One or the other vehicles that we have coming up. So no promises, especially in V1. But ultimately, that's the plan: is that we will be able to utilize those collectibles in some way.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm thinking darts, Nerf darts
Thanks, Traps.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
We have 15 minutes left, and I think we have a few people left on stage. So, no super
get to
rare
them.
questions or real questions, as Traps put it. Let's go ahead and move on to Brian.
Hey everyone. I have a quick question. I'm not sure this is something that y'all are working on or have thought of, but I would love if there's a feature where you can, let's say your showroom, you have a certain way, and you can save the way you have it in your showroom, however you designed it. But in case you change it, you can reset it back to the way it was before, because 90% of my collection is comics, but the 10% of the digital collectible statues that I have, I noticed like when I move them around, I like them one way, but then when I want to change it again, I'm like, I don't like it. Now I have to put everything back, and it takes quite some time. So will there be a feature where you can reset, or like you can save the way you had your showroom design at some point, and then if you change it, you can reset it back to the way you had it before?
In version 2, we don't have the ability to save a state, really, which is kind of what you're asking. If if I can save all of my collectibles in a specific type of format. However, in version 2, we do have already implemented the undo redo. So if you do move your collectibles around and you think, oh, damn, why did I do that? It looked way better how it was. You will be able to undo all of those steps to revert it back to how it is. But I'll have a think about the states option. It's a little bit complex, but it potentially is something we can do. So I'll put it on the scoping list.
It's like a saved game, right? Like a checkpoint we can go back to.
Right. Wonderful. That's it. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian. All right, let's move on to Mook. Mook, you there? Or is that how much?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm in Walmart. But all right, so I got a quick question. A lot of social media platforms are allowing us to connect our NFTs collections to to show authenticity, show us that it's connected, to show that we own it. Is there any plans for VV to do anything like that? Twitter specifically is doing it.
Yeah, I've seen the Twitter news. I think that's a really cool feature that they're bringing out, just to show that you actually do own. You do own that item, and once we have migrated over to Immutable, it's going to be a lot easier for us to start doing that. So it's not on our immediate radar, but as it's as the platform expands, then we more than likely will be bringing in some form of verification or authenticity. When that's going to happen, I'm not too sure.
I think.
Thank you.
You're right. I think just the way that Twitter is designing that, as soon as some of our NFTs become interoperable, you would theoretically be able to use it the same way that they are using CryptoPunks to verify, for example. It just connects to, one of 10 or 15 Web3 wallets like MetaMask, and that's how it verifies. So it's not, I don't think it's something we have to do anything for directly to be able to take advantage of that service. But we'll see how that story plays out.
Cool. Yeah, that'll be cool. I'm looking forward to having my Slimer up there. All right, let's move on to Barfly.
Hey guys, I got a question about gem to fiat. So when we buy 100 gems for $100, obviously Apple or Google take a cut. You guys have maybe a revenue share with licensors. So my question is, if on day one everybody runs to convert their gems to fiat, is that going to be an issue? Are there going to be gates or any limitations?
Oh my gosh, I didn't think of that. No, of course it will be. So a couple of things. As I mentioned in previous AMAs, when the gem to fiat opens up, we're not opening it to everyone on day one. It is going to need to go through, at least a couple of weeks of bringing in a set group of people, having them try it out, make sure everything's working fine, and then we will start to open it up to more and more users. Now, in terms of the licensor fee and such, I mean, basically, it's not really affected because you are buying a gem that is backed by $1, and you can basically cash that out. There's only licensor fees once you purchase a collectible, and then obviously those gems that you have used to make the purchase are removed from circulation. And then also just to consider that, when the web platform goes live, you will be able to purchase obviously directly with credit card. So for all of those users out there now who suffer from the in-app purchase additional taxes, which is not anything on our side. It's often country specific. Some countries have a digital tax which goes on top. But once you can purchase with a credit card, then you won't be subject to any of those kind of taxes anymore. And I believe that, you know, once the web platform goes out, we are going to see a lot more people gravitate towards that platform because obviously they're going to get sort of more bang for their buck.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm looking forward to the web platform. I have one more really quick question. I think you guys are actually doing a great job about bots. I don't buy the conspiracy. One thing I am concerned about is, let's say I'm running an internet cafe with an amazing internet connection, right? And I have 50 Android phones. Wouldn't I just pay people $10 to sit in and smash a button to get these drops? Are you guys, you know, monitoring for IP addresses that are getting a bunch of these drops?
That's something we have to be very careful about because, you know, VV for many families has become a weekly family activity. And, you know, banning IP addresses actually opens up a whole raft of issues. Like, for example, let's say you work in a skyscraper in a city, and the office you work in has one IP address, and then there's 20 VV collectors working in that office. They would ultimately be shut out. So it's actually not a solution that will bring any benefit to anyone.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, let's move on to the Six Sigma. You there, Six?
Hello.
Yep.
Sorry about that. What is the team's plan for a more comprehensive customer support system? I'm kind of having a frustrating issue with your guys' customer support team right now. I was recently locked out of the marketplace for an unpaid auction, even though I knew I hadn't bid on anything in particular. And after a lot of back and forth with a customer support rep, I was later told that I was blocked for unusual activity and possible bot activity, even though that's not true. And yet I really didn't get any. I got a bunch of vague responses and really, I guess, just poor answers. And I want to know if there's any plan for something more comprehensive in the future.
Well, sorry, you were affected in that way. You know, if your account is flagged for something like that, then we do have automated processes in the back end that will do things like disable the market access, or, for example, you know, as you mentioned, if someone doesn't pay. But I mean, our support team works very, very hard. I'm sorry that you got some vague answers. Maybe they were having a bad day. But, you know, overall, I'm pretty happy with how the support team is working. They churn through the tickets very, very quickly each day. And, you know, I guess we can, as the company grows and our user base grows, we'll be bringing on more support. But, I mean, overall, our support rate is pretty up there. But I am sorry that you are an outlier and you had a bit of a difficult time with them.
No worries. Is there some sort of internal procedure that you guys have outlined for like a timeline for resolution of something like this? Because that's really what I was trying to ask the support ticket person, is how quickly can I get an answer to this problem? Because I know the original lock is only a 3-day lock if you don't pay an auction, but after the support person going through my records, they said, oh, you don't have any unpaid auctions, there must be something else. And then they eventually found that it was blocked for unusual activity or bot activity. And then I just
all I can say is that, you know, sometimes these tickets take a while to investigate. So it's not like they're just sitting there twiddling their thumbs or off down at the pub for a beer. Often they have to go into the database. They need to check your account. They might need to verify with developers. So, you know, it can be, sometimes it can be quick, sometimes it can be long, but it just totally comes down to the, to the scenario.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
All right, thank you. It looks like we probably only have time for one more. So let's go ahead and move on to Etienne, and we'll probably cap it there.
Hi guys, it's Etienne from South Africa. So I've just 2 quick questions for you. The first one is, I'm aware of the Gemgate thing that happened a while ago, and I think like most people are aware of it. But there's another thing that happened where some of us, a very small amount in comparison, who purchased NFTs from the store, like from the actual, not the market, like the uncommon Captain America. And then I've purchased it, and it's like my gems, I paid for it, but it's forever pending. Like, so we paid for it, but we never got the actual NFT. It shows it's still pending. So I was wondering, is this something you guys are aware of? Because I know some people also experience this, but it's a very small amount in comparison.
Yeah, my recommendation is if that has happened to you, you'll need to log a ticket with support. You know, maybe something's happened in the back end where there's been a hold up on the delivery of the collectible. But yeah, if you reach out to support, unfortunately on an AMA like this, there's really nothing I could do to answer or even look into that. But as I say, and I think as Reese touched on earlier on, if you do experience any issues like that, you know, our support team is very good and very onto it, and they will help you out as fast as they can. So just go to help.vv.me, submit the ticket, fill out all the details you can. The more information you can provide upfront, the faster they'll be able to process your support. So that'd be my recommendation.
Okay, cool. And the other one is, so some of us that have been on the platform for a while, obviously, as we all know, drops back in the day was a little bit easier to get. So I was just thinking, like, obviously with the Master Collector program, we will definitely have more benefits, because I think there must be like a lot of multiple devices. Even the example the guy stated earlier, people just have multiple devices and transfer to the main account. So I kind of think like it will be like back in the old days for us when the Master Collector program rolls out. So when we have the main account, we will actually have a much better percentage, like chance of actually getting the NFT, because I can imagine all of those other duplicate accounts, like if a person has like 4 or 5, will just be null and void because of the points or whatever chance they have to actually get an NFT.
Yeah, I mean, there will be some advantages for master collectors, which will release in the information when I drop that article on the Master Collector program. But I think to keep in mind that, you know, we haven't increased our numbers in terms of the additions dramatically, but there are a lot more people coming into the platform. So, and in order to sort of combat that, as people probably have put 2 and 2 together, we are doing a lot more drops now, so there's more content available. On that note, Alex, you and I better bounce because we do have this meeting in 2 minutes. But I just want to do a quick thank you to everyone for jumping on. You know, these AMAs are enjoyable for us as they are for you guys, and it's always just great to hear you know, your feedback and your thoughts as to how we kind of build out the platform or any issues you have. Like I mentioned, you know, we really like this kind of two-way street where we put something out, get some feedback, we can tweak it to make it to improve the platform. So thanks again, everyone, and look forward to the next one in a couple of weeks.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Dan, for your time. And thank you, Reese, for getting us going here. I just want to give you a couple quick things before we sign off here. Again, for those who didn't hear it at the top of the call, we have a full weekend of drops starting tomorrow at 8 a.m. with the 007 glider, followed by No Time to Die posters set 1 at 12 p.m. PT. On Saturday, Frank Kozik Labbit Series 2 at 8 a.m. PT. And on Sunday, 2 drops, 8 a.m. PT, Safin's Mask from No Time to Die, and set 2 of No Time to Die posters at 12 noon. That said, you know, plan accordingly. We are very packed the next 2 weeks, and I believe, if I may venture to guess here, I think we only have 2 days without a drop in the next 2 weeks. So, you know,
prepare yourself.
Plan accordingly.
That's it. We're stepping